Alright, hello everyone and welcome to a very special episode of our mech rebuilds featuring the Nova Cat Hero Mech Cobra Cat NCT-CC 70-ton heavy mech that features in BTA 3026 at least both the clan quirk and the Hero Mech quirk. So, two positive quirks, lots of additional accuracy, walking distance, and increased resolve gain for all Lance members, and this mech, I have to say, just reminds me every single time of Mech Salt 2, where it had a Nova Cat and I believe a Night Gyre, both with that similar sort of sloping armor that I just find is a very aesthetically pleasing mech design. And while I do enjoy this build very, very much, I think there are a couple quick things we can improve upon without changing the feel of it all that much. So first off, we have an ER large laser, an ATM-9, and a Streak SRM-4 in each arm, and this is backed up by double ER medium laser in the side torso. So an additional compliment there that I'm always a fan of. So the issue is not the movement, which is at 5.7, not the armor, which is at max, not even the firepower, which is pretty good out of this thing. But it is the heat efficiency. Because if we take a look, we're alpha striking at 146, we're heat sinking 114. Now the Streak SRM-4s won't be firing as often as everything else just because of their very limited max range of 280, and that does drop 24 heat, so 1 each side, 12 each, 24. But on the sprint, which this thing will need to do with a 5.7 movement profile, that does add up in a very negative way. So how we're going to fix this is relatively simple. We're going to pull off both of the Streak SRM-4s and replace them with standard Clan SRM-4s. Now the difference here is actually that each SRM-4 weighs half as much as the Streak SRM-4, which allows us to mount these, well, pretty similar amount of damage for much less tonnage, and we're going to do the same thing here as what we did on one of the other rebuilds and go in and put an FCS Artemis 4, which allows the use of the very, very effective Artemis 4 SRM ammunition, and we're going to replace our 1 ton of Streak SRM ammo with that Art 4 SRM ammo. Now it is worth noting that the armor on this is clan standard armor, so no weight reduction unfortunately, but we do get, I believe, case built in, so we don't have to worry about ammunition explosions. And then just another little thing for me, I mean, we're firing 2 ATM-9s, that's 18 per volley, so each ton only gives us a little, like 3.5 or so volleys of each ATM-9. And if we're going to be doing that, I think we can sacrifice some of the tactical flexibility here, get rid of the ATM extra range, and replace those with ATM HEs. And this is just because I tend to find my own playstyle, at least, I get a lot of use out of the HEs, as we saw with the Timberwolf, though he could move a little faster than this guy will be able to do. And I think that'll be a very worthwhile improvement. Now, we do want to stay at longer ranges with the Cobra Cat than we did with that Timberwolf, and maybe we will find that a second ton of standard ATMs as opposed to HEs would be more useful. But I think we can figure that out as we go, maybe switch that out later on if we ended up out of range. But that's fine, we have 2 tons remaining, and we do still need to solve that heating problem that I mentioned. So we're going to take 2 clan double heat sinks and chuck them into each leg of this mech. And this brings us up now, we're alpha striking at 146, we're sinking at 126, and each of these SRM-4s builds 12 heat, just like the Streaks did, so if we're not firing those, we're actually pretty close to heat neutral. Slightly negative on heat, actually, which is good because, again, when you sprint, you build a little bit of heat there as well. So this can fire sustainably everything but the SRM-4s without even pushing toward the red line on a neutral biome. I think that's about the sweet spot. Anything over that would be a little overcooled. Now, other options would include putting in some sort of mask or supercharger to increase our mobility, but this mech can comfortably sit back at range with the double ER large, double ATM-9, and really still be quite effective. So that's it for this episode. Thank you all for hanging around, and we'll see you again real soon.